Well, hello fellow wind movers. Time for another video. This one will be about creating gestures, a little bit more in depth into how the other video. What I've done is I've created a gesture called Armstrong on another PC that was running virtual wind move, and now we'll put it onto this one, the real wind move, and we'll see how it goes. I haven't done it yet, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've called the gesture Armstrong, so I'm going to copy that. Into the where am I taking? There we go. Into the MyRobotLab gesture folder. So I'm just going to paste that into there. Now, okay. So that's it there. We'll open that up. Right. As I said, the gesture is called Armstrong. So what I've done here, I've just created a new file, called it Armstrong PY. That was in Notepad++. Then I've just either typed some of this in or just stole it from some of the other gestures. Maybe so you can just copy. So if you wanted to run this one, if you like the way that this was done, you can just copy that out of there and paste it into this file. It's important that you get all the right. Alright. Everything right here. An error in here won't let Inmoov start up properly. It'll go through all the start sequence and won't ask you what do you want to do today, sort of thing. Because the important bit is that this red line is continuous to the very bottom. If see, we had an extra point in there that comes up here, that'll be a failure on this file. We'll just take that away and it goes back. So once you finish your file, it's important that you make sure that red line is continuous. If statements are indented extra, the rest of these here are only 2 spaces, then indent is another space. So we just go through there. I've just said if the NeoPixel is activated. Now I got this from one of the other gestures. That's all just from the Iron Man NeoPixel animation. Then it's going to sleep for 3, and I think that's 3 seconds. So it won't do anything for 3 seconds, then it'll stop the animation. You can keep the animation running throughout the whole gesture if you want. Pretty much all of the gestures here start with the start gesture command. Have a look at any of them. Oh, okay, that one doesn't. Murphy's Law. Nor does that one. Okay, well, I found a lot of them run with the start gesture command. Now, I'm not sure what the difference between set hand speed and set velocity is. Velocity seems to be a number from 0 or a minus to 100. The speed seems to be 0 to 1. So here I'm setting the hand speed to 0.5, so half speed on most things. Now, how do we work out what we are talking about here. Okay, so I've knocked up this file. Just to try and explain, and I think I'll download this onto the Facebook group. So if we look at the head function, so the move head and head speed are all the same. So we can see on the first one here, this just happens to be 130, 130. It's the neck servo. It's on pin 12 of the left Arduino, and it's to get Inmoov to look up, you increase the number. So where are we to? Head. So this one here is the look up and down servo. This one is the head rotate. Eyes X, eyes Y. Jaw and the head tilt. So this will go the same as the speed. Okay. So this one here, I've got head speed of 0.6 and 0.6. So that is just the head speed for the neck and the head rotate. If you don't define the speeds for these ones, it will be whatever the last speed was. Just go through that again, but for the left arm, so set arm speed left, so I've got 0.5 which will be the bicep, and another 0.5 which will be the arm rotate. The third 0.5 defines the shoulder, and the fourth one is the omoplate. You can see here that if we increase that number, oh sorry, that was for the speed. Now if we move the left arm, in this here, I'm going to say move the left arm to 0. So I'll be moving the bicep to the 0 position. So that's the straight out position. And then the arm rotate will be 90. Now if we increase the number, it will turn outwards. If we decrease the number from 90 to 0, it will turn inwards. 90 is the rest position. This 30 is the shoulder. So if we increase the shoulder, increase that number, the shoulder will raise. Decrease to 0, it will drop down. So 30 is the rest position. 10 is the omoplate. So if we increase that number, that will raise. Decrease that number, it will fall. So basically in this definition here, I'm just putting all the servos to the rest position, and so we can go through all that, which is the same. So just the hand is an odd one. So the hand speeds are the same, so we can set left and right hand speeds, and they match up to these here. So the first one is the thumb, second one is index, third is the majeur, then the ring. Quite often, I'm not sure why, but the pinky isn't defined in the gestures, and then the wrist is the last one. We come down here, where do we do? Move hand. So if that's the thumb, the index, the majeur, the ring finger, and then that's the wrist. So I'm not sure how you define where the pinky goes, or the little finger, but using this definition seems to drive the pinky. So, but we'll find out that later on. As I said, I'll post this up in the Facebook site as a reference. So just to go through this file, I've initiated I've got the NeoPixels to do an Iron Man, and I've started the gesture. I've set the speeds. I've set them all to half speed, because what I wanted this gesture to do was to, when I say Armstrong, that Inmoov will look like he's coming down the ladder of the lunar lander, as Armstrong did in 1969 to walk on the moon. So once I've defined all the speeds, then I set the initial head position, which is rest. Now I could have used the rest command or the rest gesture, because you can call the gesture. So then I'll get it to sleep for 2 seconds. Then this here will move Inmoov's head. So he'll sleep for 1 second and then move his head in the opposite direction. So you can see that these two numbers are different, 0 and 180. So that's the second head, which is the head rotate. So if I increase the number, he'll look right. If I decrease the number, he'll look left. So too many windows open here. So this here is going to make him move left, wait 1 second, move right. Then he'll sleep for 1 second, and then it will move the head to the center position. The next thing we'll do is we'll move the wrist. So this was the left wrist, it's going to rotate flat, and then the right hand, 0 is to the hand. So 0 is open all the fingers, and the wrist will rotate out. Now, so I'm going to do that for the left hand. Right hand will open his fingers. Okay, and we're going to wait 2. I'm going to get Inmoov to move his arm and close his right hand. So here I've called on a gesture that's already in the list, close right hand, so we can do that. So this is the gesture list here, so close right hand. So instead of typing this number, that line, we can just call upon it here and that will run that gesture. And I'm going to move his arm, close his left hand, sleep, open his right hand. So hopefully that looks a bit like Inmoov climbing down the limb ladder, so the lunar module lander. Open, sleep, and then just keep going like that. And I'm going to play this file, this MP3 file. The sleep, open his hand, sleep, relax, and then play this other MP3 file. So these MP3 files are just standard files. I got a file off the NASA website, chopped the bits out that I wanted to in Audacity, and then saved the files. Now we're you save the files in system sound. So that's Inmoov systems sound. So I haven't done that yet, so I need to do that. So you just save the file under there, and then when that file's there, you can call upon it in any gesture. Okay, so I'm just going to set that up now. I'm just going to save those files. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've done that. I've saved those files. I'll just show you that. So MyRobotLab, Inmoov, systems, sounds. So I've saved that file and that file. So now they should be able to play when I call upon it. So that's the gesture. So I've created that. I no longer need that. So obviously, if we make a change to it, we need to save that. But I don't want to save that because that's the one that I've already been tested. Now we need to add that, okay, to our gesture AMIL. So so that's the same thing. So we Inmoov chatbot bots. I'm English. Inmoov gesture. So we have the gesture, and this is how we're going to call on that gesture. Okay. So here, that's all the gestures. There's a couple that I've created there. It's basically all the gestures that are there. So I'm gonna no, I'm not gonna do that. Oh yes, okay. So once again, because I've already tested this on the virtual Inmoov, I've just copied that across. So I'm gonna open this up. So this is just the gesture file that I've just renamed as test, so I don't get it confused with the gesture file. So here we go. So I'm going to copy this, copy, and I'm going to paste that there. So the gesture file is structured with the category pattern template, and then ends with the category. So if you have a look through any of the gestures, you can see that's the same. Category pattern template, category, and then the new gesture there. So we just need to follow that structure. So we've got a category pattern, the template, then end with the category. And our red line down here follows all the way down through, so that's, I'm assuming that's okay. So when I say Armstrong, Inmoov will say Neil Armstrong, Apollo astronaut, then we'll execute the Armstrong gesture. Now it's important when you're doing anything with this file that in MyRobotLab is not running. If you do that, it won't save it. Okay, so I don't have MyRobotLab running at the moment, so it's okay to do something with this file. Okay, so now we have our gesture in there. Now time to test it. So depends how Inmoov starts up. I may just edit this bit out just to save time on the video. Okay, here we're launching. Now, once again, the microphone, Inmoov's microphone won't work because the desktop microphone for this video capture software has grabbed the microphone, so I'll have to type it in chatbot.
Set language path to English. Starting ears. WebKit speak recognition.
No, we did have an error down there.
Arduino chosen from configuration.
COM7, so looks like it's okay.
Starting NeoPixel surface.
Maybe just didn't pick it up on the first run pass.
Chat bit loaded. I may start other components. Please wait. PIR sensor activation. Connect. Started. Starting ultrasonic sensor right. Starting head. Starting mouth. Starting left arm. Starting left hand. Starting right arm.
So down here we'll show any errors that come up, it'll be in red.
Starting torso. What can I do for you?
Okay, so that if you don't get that, what can I do for you? There'll be a red prompt down here. It's a little bit cryptic, but go back and have a look at your gesture to see if its red line is continuous, or it may be something in the gesture AMIL file. So we'll just see if Inmoov's working okay. Just type hi.
Hi Matt, nice to see you.
Okay, that looks okay. So we'll see what Armstrong looks like.
Neil Armstrong, Apollo astronaut.
Okay, speed may be a bit slow. I'm just trying to simulate him walking down the ladder here. Okay, the speed seemed a bit slow and the wrist didn't rotate like I expected it. So a little bit more playing around with that and see what we can do. Well, after a little bit of tinkering around with Armstrong gesture, I've sorted out a few issues. So this is the gesture. So I basically speeded everything up a little bit. It was 0.5 and I made it 0.8 for the hands. I've kept the arms at 0.5. I think biggest one of the issues I had was that I didn't give the Inmoov time to get to the position, so I've increased these sleep times. I've basically doubled them to get the so the servos can drive to their position before I get the next command. The other thing that I had with the wrist is what I mentioned before about should have had this organised. So with the hand, the pinky isn't, when you do a capture gesture, the pinky isn't in that list. It goes straight to the wrist, but when you drive it with the gesture command, the pinky needs to be in the list. Now where am I to? Okay, I've got too many windows open now. Okay, there we are. So this is where I'm driving the wrist. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in here for the 6 positions: the thumb, index, majeur, ring, pinky and wrist. When you do a gesture command, you only get 5 because the pinky isn't in there. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And same for the right hand, I have 6. Before I only had 5, so it was driving the pinky. The other thing that I hadn't realised was that the wrist is either wrist is in opposite direction, so the left one to get the wrist for the palm facing down at 0, and for the right one it's 180. Now I'll modify this PDF file before I post that up on the Facebook group, just to clarify what that does. But yeah, so the wrist is backwards. So that will now, we'll run the gesture so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so there's Inmoov, so I'll send that gesture.
Neil Armstrong, Apollo astronaut.
This is supposed to simulate Neil walking down the ladder. From the lunar module to stand on the planet, stand on the moon.
Step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Okay, so that's my first proper gesture. Thank you very much.